You and I don't hear anything.
He said he was working on it.
You have audio.
Yeah, you do.
We are back.
All right, welcome to the show, y'all.
Welcome back to the show.
We're gonna
Hopefully
clip
you
out.
stayed for that.
We're gonna clip out that beginning part.
We could. All right, you guys, just stand by. We're running it again.
Yeah, that way we can just delete that one.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I know. I got you. We do have a new logo out as well. Um, I know.
Y'all give it up for Frank, please.
Please give
The
it up.
the ultimate producer, not
Yes.
just the regular producer, but the ultimate producer.
Yes. So we would also like to unveil that our old, not very old, but our old D&K logo into the new logo. I love this. I love this new era. I don't know. It's just pretty. I like it. It hits me in all the right ways.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, excited about that.
So, I want to start the show out today by saying good afternoon, Kim. It is Monday, November 17th, 2025.
100%.
I watched the Sean Ryan show earlier today. I'm going to start out with lies because lies are irritating. And you usually, about 90 something percent of the time, it may take a long time, but you usually get busted in your lies.
Yes, you do.
And wouldn't you rather be known, if you're going after clicks, wouldn't you rather be known as a truth teller or a liar?
Exactly.
So I was watching the Sean Ryan show today, and the head of security for Charlie Kirk's firm, who was there on the awful day of the assassination, ran through the whole exact thing, the actual real footage with all the evidence to actually back it up, the real stuff, not the lies. It's just unbelievable with exploding microphones, and they didn't do an autopsy, and somebody shot him from the cell phone. I mean, it's just unreal. But none of that actually happened. That's
Right.
all lies. But anyway, the big thing is one of the prominent content creators who likes to run her mouth kept saying, well, there's no autopsy. There's no autopsy. My question to all these people, like Sean Ryan and the head of security said today on the podcast, why don't you just do a FOIA request then if you think it didn't happen?
Right.
And
Exactly.
not only did it happen, but it was expedited because J.D. Vance called right after it happened and said, can Trump or myself do anything for you guys? And they said, yes. Can you push an autopsy through quickly so this won't turn into some JFK?
Because they already knew. They already knew.
And guess what it turned into anyway?
Anyway.
So,
and I mean, FOIA requests are there for a reason.
yes.
And just, I still say, if you come out, let's say like the content creators that just want to run their mouths, you come out without actual legitimate evidence, you get proven wrong. Can we as a society please oust those people, show other people that you cannot get away with lying, and then oops, I totally lied, I totally fabricated this or whatever, and still allow them to have.
Yeah, that was me, but you're right. But you're right.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's the thing that bothers me, is that there are people that are still on there that are known to have lied big time, and they're still on there, very popular. And I'm like, is our society really that messed up? I'm hoping not. I really hope that stuff like this coming out and the truth coming out, and the people who, again, like when we talk about a story, and a story that we don't have all of, the evidence and all of the information, typically we're going to say, allegedly, right? Typically we're going to say we don't have all the information. We're putting pieces of the puzzle together.
And that's what law enforcement say if they're doing it correctly anyway. They always say allegedly.
And I'll take it back. It won't not be true. It may not all be correct.
That's right.
But we will let you know. Yeah, allegedly. Like,
there's a reason why people say allegedly, because everyone in this country of the United States is innocent until proven in a court of law to be guilty.
And that's why we are here. That's why we are the best nation in the world. Again, somebody that I can completely feel like 100% did something extremely evil, we still have to go through the process.
Have to. That is the way that our system is set up.
It will break down if we don't, because that is one reason. We don't throw people in jail for no reason like a lot of other countries do, because they feel blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, public pressure says blah, blah, blah.
That would be a real Nazi dictator, what they call Trump. That would be real actual one. Communism. Yes. That would be real pure evil.
Yes.
Okay. Not allowing to speak against anything they say.
Correct.
So he's actually the opposite, but they've always called him that, which just tickles me.
They always have, even though now they're trying to deny things themselves when they call, it's
mad.
Just crazy. It's just,
it really is madness.
Backwards.
It's madness. And well, social media, not all of it, of course, because there's a lot of good people out there actually telling the truth. But then there's a lot of people that are not. Usually they're foreign actors. They're being paid by somebody, or they're just absolutely doing it for clicks.
Yes.
Or a combination of all.
Yes. So, exactly.
Now, I'm all about getting paid for clicks. But if you're going to get paid for clicks, wouldn't you at least wouldn't your pride at least want you to tell the truth?
You would think. I mean, you would think. But again, that's where I say it's everybody on the other end of people who don't feel that way. When they get ousted, I mean, when it gets brought up that they obviously lied or they obviously fabricated something, then they do need to be ousted by the public. I mean, shamed from society. You should have to go into hiding, in my opinion. Instead, they sometimes continually, if not more, get more and more views and more and more followers.
And that's one of the reasons
really?
It's the main reason that they have hated Donald Trump since 2015 on the escalator, because he calls them out on their lies. So what do people do when they get called out on lies? They go into the opposite mode, because they want to protect their fake truth.
Exactly.
Or their fake propaganda, because that's really what all it is propaganda. I don't care whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, it's simply propaganda. That's what's going on in the country. The propaganda network is the biggest money maker in the world.
Yes.
And that goes for positive stuff and negative stuff. And unfortunately, with news, especially big national news, death, horrific stuff, hatred sells.
It does.
Sex sells.
But I will say
pornography sells. All the bad things sell. All of them.
It's a good lead into a video that I have about the Trump administration actually cracking down on some of this fake news. Yeah. Some of these, and these are, of course, it's more dealing with like the, network news organizations.
Of course, because they're the main ones.
They're the ones that have licenses. They're supposed to, they're regulated. They have a lot more hoops they have to jump through. And this is why they're supposedly, they get certain grants and funding and things like that for certain reasons. So they really need to double and triple and cross-reference and check before they put a story out, instead of just making fake news.
Or he'll just keep suing them and winning.
Well, let's see. So let's show them what is being done right now about that.
President Trump, who's won a pair of lawsuits against the 3 broadcast networks, is now escalating his battle against 2 of them. ABC and NBC fake news, two of the worst and most biased networks in history, give me 97% bad stories. If that's the case, they are simply an arm of the Democrat Party and should, according to many, have their licenses revoked by the FCC. I would be totally in favor of that because they are so biased and untruthful, an actual threat to our democracy.
I mean, that's a no.
Yeah, and that's old
100%
Howie.
truth.
And that's old Howie, who's a liberal.
Yeah,
But he's telling the truth.
he is. He is.
And Trump just, this time it is earth shaking and ground making breaking news because the BBC have never seen anybody doctor a video that evil. I mean, they just literally completely took a true event and doctored the video.
Right.
Well, of course, those people got fired, but that ain't enough, baby, because Trump's coming for 1.6 billion with a B.
Yes. I mean,
and you have to pay.
To me, in all honesty, from what ramifications that can come from something like that, there should be prosecutions on
Look
stuff
what
like
ramifications came from January 6th.
Yeah. I mean, and if you're going to doctor a video and lie about something like that intentionally, not by accident, intentionally, you should be in jail.
Stoned.
I mean,
shamed.
Really? Because just being fired, do you know how many people don't even recognize somebody being fired from somewhere like that? But if they're being prosecuted, people go, wait, why are they being prosecuted? There you go.
And of course, everybody is outraged over that, but the far left is not because they're evil. So that doesn't make any sense because let me tell you this, the ramifications from that day and them stacking it on by doing that truly could have changed millions of people's mind about Trump. Millions.
Yes.
Even though it's the BBC, they're not in this country. That doesn't matter. No. They have internet reach just like everybody else does.
And influence from other
They have influence from this country just like they do everywhere else. So, yeah, I mean, I say they get the middle finger award for life. I mean,
I agree.
That's it.
100% with that. But I'm glad that he is doubling down on that stuff because it's ridiculous.
And as he should. As he should. He's doubling down on a lot.
Yes.
And today I was watching him. He's tripling down. And they kept on and they kept on about the Epstein files, which in my opinion, he shouldn't have called it a hoax months ago. He should have just release it.
Everybody else can see what it is.
But we're past that now. So he's going to release it. He said, we don't have anything to hide. But let's be honest. The Democrats had it for 4 or 5 years and then no telling who had it before that. So there's no telling what, if anything, is left in those files, quote files, which are probably not even real files, but information that's going to be even remotely something that we don't already know.
Well, we definitely had a corrupt FBI,
of course,
which
and we may still have a lot of them, even though Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are in the FBI.
They're still emptying it out.
There are thousands of people that work for the FBI. It only takes one.
Yes. And you know what I would love to see, just talking about that, I would love to know the numbers since they've been in office, since they've had their title. What's the numbers of them, getting rid of the old guard, getting rid of the corrupt people in there? I'm curious what the number is right now.
But with those thousands of people like that, there's no possible way for them to keep up with all those employees. People have job titles. They have supervisor titles, and it goes on down from there all the way to a field office, to in-office, to internet, to whatever, all these different departments.
It's so embedded in everything.
It's embedded in everything in life, whether it be the FBI, it doesn't matter. Pick a letter in the alphabet, the NSA, the WNBA, all of it.
All of it.
Okay? It's going to be in there.
Especially the last one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But don't think that doesn't happen even in law enforcement, even in obviously churches, even in whatever.
Yeah, because we're all humans, so it's
Yeah.
there's gonna be that factor. But well, before they came in, I mean the amount, the ratio is a little bit
Yeah, and you had the head
off
of
scale.
the FBI, and you had Merrick Garland, loser, and you had, what was his name, Christopher Wray, another loser. All of them were working against Trump, including
Yes.
Bill Barr, by the way.
Oh yes,
And so, yeah, I mean, the odds were stacked,
it's very stacked.
and he still won the
So
election
now they're in there.
because of the American people,
Mhm.
not because of those jokesters.
But now they're in there, and it's again. I mean, because you just brought up the scale of how big and how deep and embedded and corrupt just the FBI, and then we talk about all the other agencies. I mean,
DOJ, all of them.
so if we really want to clean up this corrupt system, it's not going to happen overnight.
Oh, no.
You're probably not going to feel any of it for a good couple of years because they have to investigate who is the corrupt ones. Because you can't just, the thing that sucks is, it'd be great, but you can't do this. You can't go in and just like gut everybody out of an office.
No, and they
You
have done
can't-
that
and
on
just
some level, but you
rehire.
can't do it on big level. No.
You really can't. And so the thing is, you're having to gauge, internal documents and where this went. And you may find a few, this person was trying to cover up this, that, or the other. Well, then you realize, okay, that one right there. Okay, let's follow that back. Okay, where did they get that from? And you have to do that on just after one after the other. And so this is, again, everybody, and I understand, but everybody's just wanting things to happen at an extremely fast rate.
Look,
And it really can't.
like I said earlier today, I absolutely want to see perp walks.
Yeah.
I absolutely want to see transparency. I absolutely want to see people jailed now. What are we waiting on?
Right.
So you're not alone.
No.
I'm just saying it's so, you have all of these judges who shoot all this down, which that really is a worse problem to me than all the rest of it. Because when the DOJ or when the FBI, if they work for Trump, if they do something just like immigration, the judges are constantly going to be, no, we're going to change that. No, we're going to change that. Then he goes and appeals it and usually wins. But what did they just do? Waste 6 months every time.
Yes.
Waste 3 months, waste 2 months, waste 6 months. These judges are rogue. These judges are causing most of the problems that are going on that level. And they need something, but I don't know what it is, but they need something. I'll tell you what it doesn't need is I saw the idiot James Carver on an interview this weekend from the, quote, Democrat Party saying, no, we definitely 100% need to pack the court up to like 20.
Which is ridiculous. It's like, I want to say, okay, take just that notion by itself. The more people you have in a room, the less you're going to be able to come to a concise, answer to things. You got too many, I hate to say this, too many brains in the middle. Yeah, I mean, too many brains trying to figure out if this is, constitutional or not. You're going to have too many opinions, and you're not going to be able to get, everything is going to take a lot longer because they're going to have to take longer to make a decision, which means everything slows down. I mean, this is where it's like, it's kind of common sense on that. And to me, whenever they act like it's, it's this huge thing, it's like, well, obviously you're wanting chaos, because to me, anyone that wants that just wants chaos. There's no reason to have 20 on the court. We have enough numbers.
There's a reason why we only had 9 since 860.
Yes.
So leave it alone.
Leave it
okay?
alone.
Leave it alone.
And I mean,
they don't like to leave things alone.
And they
they want pronouns.
shove.
They want anything bizarre. And now with the Thomas Crook deal, all this new information has come out now. I do not like this about the 3-letter agencies or whoever's behind this cover up, because it's 100% cover up.
Yes.
Tucker Carlson did a great job on it. If you don't like Tucker Carlson anymore, you're mad at him, then watch the Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck got his from Tucker and broke it down the same way. So you make your choice.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that Trump addressed Tucker Carlson last night directly when they asked him. Of course, the fake news asked him, and he was real simple about it. He's like, it's Tucker's show. I can't tell anybody what to do on their own show. I mean, that's pretty much common
because
sense.
if I did, then I would be considered a dictator, right?
Correct.
That would literally be the definition of a dictator.
Well, you're not going to
Nazi dictator.
You're not going to denounce him. He's like, why would I denounce him? I've done his show and had over 300 million views, and I can't tell anybody what to talk about.
Yep.
So,
Which is hopefully, and maybe at a certain point. I know right now tensions are high, and I'm giving him a little, grace.
yeah, I'm not on here to slam Tucker. I'm making an example.
No, I'm talking about Trump. Just hear me out. Because I'm going to give him some grace, because I think he's being attacked from levels
that we don't know,
that are just, it kind of comes out of left field. I mean, I can take the full example, and so many people may disagree with me on this, but Thomas Massey really surprised me months ago, and he hasn't let up. Then, of course, we've got more people who just seem to be jumping on that bandwagon. And I'm thinking, okay, how did you get voted in last time? Did you get voted in saying that you were behind Trump? Did you ride his coattails into, victory?
Well, you know the answer.
And then you're going to turn right around, and just because you disagree with something that they said or something that they did, you're going to start a campaign against it. Just, it does not seem genuine. It seems like, to me, you have an agenda. And I don't like supporting people who have agendas like that.
No.
And those are the things that I wish people would kind of see. Now, do I agree with everything that Trump does or says? No. But at the same time, I feel that I know that deep down, he's trying to do the best for this country.
Absolutely. And
maybe
it's really impossible to agree with somebody on every single thing, or almost impossible, rather. But Thomas Massey is going to be feeling the repercussions, because he has a 6% chance of winning next time. 6. So his constituents is what he needs to be worried about, instead of pitching all this crap about
Thank you.
Trump.
And grandstanding just to make, I'm going to say something different than everybody else.
He's no different than one of the content creators wanting clip, but I don't know what he's doing it for. But I will tell you this, people like Massey and MT, Marjorie Trader Green, as Trump calls her now, they make $174,000 a year. I said this on my show today, but now all of a sudden she has $25 million. So
interesting.
Shut up, right?
Interesting.
Shut up. So my question is, instead of talking about Trump and her being on The View and her being on CNN and her, screaming about the Epstein files, that's fine. Why are we not asking where $25 million came from? Because these people got that through a FOIA request. It's real simple.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It's real easy.
They actually
Same with Thomas Massey. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Your wife passed away, and then all of a sudden, 6 months later, you got double-digit millions. Why?
Yeah, why? Can you just tell me why? Show
Why?
me.
How?
Well, I got this
Show me how to
from
get
an investment
25
that
million.
was legitimate. I got this from a book deal that's legitimate. All those. And okay, cool, that's fine. Just curious about it because it seems a little strange. I don't know.
All I'm saying is, show me how, so I can go make $25 million and sell it in 1 year or whatever it is.
Oh, I mean,
2 years.
They're sitting there. Sometimes they're just so disingenuous.
Yeah, and
extremely.
This latest thing where Marjorie Taylor Greene backed Nancy Pelosi yesterday on one of the things that had to do with stocks and all, I was like, that's where she got to 25 million. But I'm done with her, so let's move on to somebody else.
I'm not, and I mean,
not important to me anymore.
It's not, because they definitely seem disingenuous. Like when it works for them, they will be all on board. When it doesn't, or they need a flip and a turn, like, oh, well, everybody's going over here. I need more, views so my constituents think that I'm still doing something. So let me holler and scream about this, that, and the other. Well, your constituents should be upset for the fact that you don't seem to be caring about them.
And don't get me wrong, Margie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey, a lot of things they said, I was 100% on board with, both of them. They don't want digital currency, neither do I. They don't want us paying for every war and every all that, neither do I.
We all agree with that.
But then all of a sudden there's this weird flip now where it's like all or nothing. Right. And they're blaming Trump, and she's whining like a liberal running over CNN. I'm getting doxxed. I'm getting blah, 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 whatever. Well, did you think you wouldn't?
Exactly.
I mean,
look
honestly,
at what you're doing, though.
But either way, I'm not going to sit here and beat up Margie Taylor Greene. I don't hate anyone.
Yes.
I'm just not a big supporter of hers anymore, and definitely not Massey.
Yeah, and Massey was a big one that surprised me. But again, over the last few years, there have been people that when Trump was first in office, there was a whole bunch of people, I'm like, oh, they're good. And then over the years, it's kind of like they've shown their true colors to where, to me, it's almost a learning thing. We get to know a certain person, and then they change, and then you start noticing patterns. Once you start noticing patterns, then you know who's seemingly a little fishy, maybe a little bit of a snake in the grass, and you start noticing that, so that you don't have to jump on board. Because I'll just say this, I know a person that's very close to me that is not very political, but somehow they stumbled on the content creator we mentioned earlier, and really kind of seeming to believe what she's saying, and
a lot of young women are,
because
a lot
they
of
don't
people
know
that I know
the
personally.
Pattern. Yeah, they don't know the pattern, and that's the part that just worries me, because I'm trying to give her some. Okay, well, wait. Let's not jump on board. Let's wait till. Well, she's sitting there with documents. I'm like, well, check the documents. What documents does she have?
It's a lot of hype.
It is a lot of hype.
And look, I'm not saying that she's not right about some of it. Who knows? But she doesn't know.
No.
So that's the problem I have. You don't know. You're just coming up with receipts that may fit this little
narrative
pattern or narrative that you have. You actually don't know. Okay. So, and you also don't know what the FBI has, and that you would be the last one they would tell.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Now,
there's
I'm all
a
about
reason why,
questions.
Especially Trump, he's always been this way, but now his administration, there's a reason why they don't tell you what they're doing. Why
and it makes
would
sense. They're not going to.
And why would they? And also, it will taint any kind of case they have, even if this kid didn't shoot Charlie Kirk. I bet he was involved. I just do.
Yeah, because I don't think they would have just plucked someone out of thin air. So they had to have something either way.
Right. And there's enough evidence out there to show where he's involved with that somehow. So anyway.
And again, it kind of goes back to the Epstein file thought for me. Yes, I want to find this out, and I'd love to do it as quick as can happen.
I'm sick of hearing about it today.
We have current things going on here in America and abroad, but really here in America, that can be dealt with, that needs to be talked about, that needs to be in the forefront of the news. I would love to get a lot of these things settled, but it's not going to put food in my child's mouth. It's not going to, pay my bills. It's not going to help with inflation. None of that's going to help me on a daily basis knowing what happened.
And Trump and them put out list after list every day of what he is getting done. But instead of them talking about what he's getting done, they don't.
Yeah, because
you know who talks about that? Only him. And that's sad. That's really sad.
It is. And to have so many people that a lot of people, felt that they could trust, that was also, a supporter of Trump, now turning. And it's kind of like, it's kind of like people turning in the middle of a football game, turning against the head coach.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden the head coach, everything he says is a lie. And all of a sudden, you know, you get down to the running backs and the quarterback, they're all just stopping and they're saying, hey, you're a liar. This isn't working. This isn't right. You would be confused as a everybody that's attending the game or watching the game, like, you would be confused. It does the same thing for us. It's confusing. It's like, how come now, right now, you're saying he's such a horrible person, but literally a couple of months ago, he was the best thing ever.
Or a few
It
weeks.
does not
even,
make any
or
sense.
a few weeks even.
Yeah.
It only makes
of a
sense
sudden.
if money is involved.
It just
To me, it all
has to
because
be.
unfortunately, that's what makes the world roll.
Yes.
And people are
exactly.
like, well, Candace's husband is rich. So, you know what rich people want? More money.
And
More,
I have
they
no
want more money.
qualms about somebody making money.
Not me either. But
Just
what
don't do it underhanded.
Right. Exactly. That's my point.
Be legit.
Same with Margie. I don't really, never really had a problem with her too much. Thought she's talked too loud and too much. But other than that, not really.
Yeah.
But she has to be in the spotlight. She's one of those people. It's easy to read to me. Those kind of people are easy to read. Same with Candace.
Yeah.
They're those kind of people. That, to me, that's an
extremes.
easy read. They're always extreme. Meh.
Yes.
But usually that's white, liberal, middle-aged women.
yes.
Just saying.
Yeah.
No
It's
offense.
the truth.
No offense, because I know you're not a liberal.
It's all right because it's not all of them.
No, of
Just like when
it's not.
I'll say something about guys, I never mean all guys. Same
Right.
thing. Same thing.
But
I
a
mean-
lot of white, liberal young men are drama queens also. I mean,
Society is
they
going
just are.
a little nuts.
and unfortunately, there's a lot of connections to everything that has happened with the Charlie Kirk thing. And now it's breaking now today that the Thomas Cook thing that's being buried, nobody's talking about it. If that person would have tried to assassinate Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, they would still be talking about it 24 hours, 7 days a
Mhm.
week. But because Trump almost got killed, they're not saying that.
No, they're
Within
not.
centimeters, by the way. Okay, now they're finding out that he was a furry, whatever that means, that he used pronouns. So for some reason, all of this wicked stuff that's going on, and with the Tyler guy and his roommate and all, who's to say that there's not not who's to say, because a lot of people are already saying it, but there are a bunch of large, huge worldwide networks now that are like Antifa, but they're all those people.
Yes.
Okay.
And what
And
sucks is like we've always
something
said
is wrong with them mentally, and I'm not being ugly.
Yeah.
Something is wrong with them.
Well, I mean, we've always said, and I think we all agree, like, I don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home. I don't care who you love and who you like. Like, I really don't care.
Me either.
But when the
But when you
majority of
start-
these organizations are drawing in people to do these types of acts, I'm going to have a problem with it.
Yep.
I am, because I mean, to me, you're actually, if I was a part of that, if I was a LGBT or T, right, I would be very annoyed by
What
these
if you were a
organizations.
Z?
But if I was a Z, same thing.
Even
I would be
I don't know
very,
what that is.
I
But
would be very, annoyed at these organizations that, I mean, because when they go and investigate these horrific, incidents, 9 times out of 10, mostly 10 times out of 10, it is going to be someone from that thought
mhm.
process and that,
It's a mental.
ideology.
We got rid of mental institutions a long time ago.
This is a part of the indoctrination too.
And yeah, it is. But we did get rid of mental institutions, and the homeless people that are also suffering due to that.
Yes.
But so are the younger people who start out at a young age, and instead of them getting help, their parents are either ignoring them. Not every case. I'm not going to blame it all on parents, because it's not all parents' faults, because some of these are 18 and above. But somewhere down the line, they sit in their room with discourse and all these crazy video games,
Mhm.
and they started living in a fantasy world, and then that fantasy world became the real world to them,
Correct.
and they don't have any friends. They're loners. They have no self-confidence, and they definitely don't have social skills because they've been sitting at home all day playing video games. And this is what's happened. And then it's really, really, really easy to indoctrinate somebody like that.
Yeah. I agree.
Because they feel like, oh, somebody's embracing me.
Right.
I can hang out with this group of people, ABC or whatever they are,
Right.
and they will embrace me. And it's all.
Then you just kind of feel like, okay,
lovey-dovey.
whatever they say, I want to do
I'm gonna
because
go
these are my
along with
people.
them because these are my
Yeah.
folks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I mean, parents, we need to at least be vigilant in anything like that that's trying to start and trying to happen, because it can happen pretty fast, almost overnight sometimes. So you just got to be vigilant and at least know. Talk to your kids, really get to know your kids. That is to me one of the biggest reasons why stuff like that happens, because you don't have a good home life where parents are talking about, they know their friends, they know what they're doing, they know who they're talking with. If they play games that are online, they know who they're talking with while they're playing the games online. Just be involved. It actually doesn't even take as much as you would think it would take just to pop in every 20, 30 minutes when they're playing a game. Listen to what they're talking about. Pay attention. Ask them about stuff that happened throughout the day.
It's not that hard at all.
It's really not.
And it's not mean or ugly. It's just being a parent.
Yeah.
It's just because at the end of the day, you're still the parent.
Yes.
So you need to demand respect.
Correct.
That doesn't mean you have to beat anybody, but you need to demand respect, because at the end of the day, you're their parent. It's your responsibility, by the way. Your responsibility to be that way.
Exactly. It really is, because
is.
you are the parent. That God has given you that responsibility. I mean, I say that to my daughter all the time. It's like, I know you may not like this, but I'm mom. It is my job.
And
if I didn't do it, I would be derelict in my duty not doing it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's like Frank would say, I'm your boss. Shut up and do it.
Yeah.
Or else.
Or else. Right? Like all the time, every day, all day.
But that's the way it is being a parent or dad or a mom. Actually, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
I mean, I know it's definitely harder with one parent. Of course it is. And that's a major problem in this country.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible. I'm looking at somebody doing it.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it.
And I know a lot of other people, many, because the divorce rate's over 50%. So trust me, I know many people, whether it be male or female, mainly it's females, but there are some males out there also, I won't leave them out.
Yeah. Who've
raised two girls, they're friends of mine, by themselves, and they're great girls.
Yeah.
And
it can happen. It can be done. The thing is, you have to
pay
put
attention
time
and be involved in their life. You have to.
It really is. But I mean, if no matter why or what reason you are not with your other partner for whatever reason, you should already from day one, you should know your child. You should be talking to them regularly. You should be finding out things when they're younger, you're doing games and stuff with them. You're going and you're taking them and you're socializing with them in the park. Then they get into school and you find out you maintain a relationship, because you don't just start the relationship. You have to maintain it. And if you maintain an open and honest relationship, you will know more about your child. You will know what's going on. They'll feel open to telling you about it. If you're not jumping down their throat every 5 seconds.
Right.
Or not saying anything, not doing anything at all, not caring. Either way, those two are just a recipe for disaster.
It just is, because a teenager, whether it be a female or a male, they're going to test you. Of course they are. And they're going to test you every day.
Yes.
But you got to step up to the plate and pass the test.
Yes. And again, it's having that relationship with them, because when they start to test you, if they feel, because even the ones that have an extremely close relationship with each other, they're still going to test you.
They still are.
You still have to turn around and be the parent. Even if you have an extremely close relationship with your child, you still have to be the parent in a lot of situations. At the end of the day,
you're still mom.
Yep.
And they're still daughter
I love
son.
you, but you messed up.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then the second you punish whatever, and then it's love. You know,
Mhm.
that way it builds that bond back, and they know. And really, it actually helps your kid trust you more whenever you do that.
And a lot of the Gen Zers don't get it, or they're in their minds, they're too busy, or they're doing this, or they're doing that, or they can't wait for baby daddy to come over and pick the kid up so they can run out and party, or whatever. It goes
Yeah.
both ways, men and women. They're both horrible sometimes, and they're both not sometimes.
It is definitely not just only on one gender side or
No,
the
of
other.
course
It
not.
can share both sides.
It can. You just got to be a good person,
hmm
and you got to take control of the situation.
You do,
You're responsible for your kids,
right?
because if your kid goes out and murders somebody, this is true
Mhm.
because it's already happened in our country more than once,
Yep.
goes out and does a quote schoolroom or workroom shooting, and you knew that they had mental issues and you ignored it, you did not do anything about it, you're going to be accessory to that murder.
Yeah.
And you should be.
Yes. Exactly. I mean, it's
Now, if you admittedly knew and you tried to get them help and all that, and they snuck out, that changes the whole
it does, because
thing.
you have paperwork, you
Right.
have a paper trail. Hey, I reached out to this person, I tried to do this, searched online for how can I talk to my child about, whatever
But
it is.
my point of that is you should know.
Yeah.
It's your kid. You should know.
Yeah.
And you should try to get them help. I mean, literally, you should try. If
And when
you
it gets to
can't,
that point,
if
I
you
hate to
can't
say
help
it,
them,
institutionalized.
right? If you can't help them, then you need to get them help.
Yeah, where they have, I
Right.
mean, because I'm not saying that for being a forever situation, but
No, of course
sometimes
not.
having to, if they have those tendencies and you can't figure it out, of course, you're not a psychologist, you're not a,
Right.
you don't do any of that. Take them
Somewhere else.
and let them at least try to work with them in a safe environment, and don't let them back until they've started showing. I mean, because we, just like the ending of the insane asylums, there's a reason why they're there. There's a reason why. It's because they're not supposed to be out in society. They either get help and they can come out in society because they've gotten help, or they need to stay in there because they will do whatever that would
Right.
harm society. And it's
Yep.
just sad all the way around with that.
It is, but the affordability thing right now is what has so many people mad at the government. And I'm not just saying mad at Trump, mad at government. And I just want to say that I feel you. I promise you, we do. Do you think I enjoy paying more money for stuff still when it was supposed to be down by now? No, I do not.
Mm-mm.
But energy controls everything, and that is down. That controls the supplies, the food supply. That controls everything. Energy is down, big time down.
Yes.
Now, if you do a little research, you'll find out why beef, pork, stuff like that is outrageous now, because 4 companies control that in the world, and they're not in the United States pretty much. And that's sad, because we're down to 20,000 new farmers a year, and that's all.
Well, I was going
It
to say, if
used
we
to be-
support our local farmers,
used to
it may
be-
change.
It used to be dramatically different. We're down to
Mhm.
only 600,000 farmers in
But
the
they
whole
aren't getting
entire
supported.
country.
I can kind of understand.
Well, they're not getting supported because they can't afford to even be a farmer, unfortunately.
This is true.
Which is coming from China and all the other people that have bought up the land in the United States of America, which is just outrageously peeves me up, just makes me angry.
Well, to me, I feel like that, honestly, different discussion, but that should be illegal. They should not be allowed.
We should
to
all
that.
do
They
like
should not
Sarah
be allowed to do
Sanders
that.
in Arkansas and ban it. You cannot do it in this state.
Yeah, and just every state just needs to sign on board to that, or the majority I'm sure minus the heavy blue states, would sign on to that. But we need to do
you
stuff
say
like that.
but Mississippi hadn't signed on to it.
No, we need to.
Oh,
It
I know we
needs
need
to
to.
happen. Because, I mean, I want to trust where my food's coming from, number one. I don't trust it when it's, especially usually a Chinese, involvement
Of
in a
course.
then I feel as if I'm either going to not have, maintained good, healthy meat.
No,
There's
it's
not
gonna
going to
be
be fresh. It's
processed.
going to
It's
be
not
too
gonna be
processed.
fresh.
It's going to be, there's so many things that I just wouldn't trust with that anyway. We don't need that here. We need that land we need to incentivize farmers to continue farming and to attract other farmers. Because if that number was not down but up, we would have so much competition. And because we're closer, more local stuff, it would actually be just about the same price and we would get better meat. I mean, there's so many things that would help. I have always said this, and I heard that it may start opening up this way, but I don't know when. I hadn't heard from like a year or so ago. I've always said, like, we have these fresh markets and things like that from local areas, but a lot of them don't do like meat and things like that. But if we actually had one that was more like a grocery store style, but all of it was local, and, like the only thing that would be available would be something that was, maybe a 2-hour drive or less. That way it's the freshest that it can be. If it's not available there, then you would have to go somewhere else.
Well, see, we do have those, but the problem is now, this wasn't a problem until lately. The beef, though, because of the packers, not because of the farmers, it can even be fresh, but it's still got to be packed somewhere. And that's who's screwing over the farmers.
Yeah.
The packers who pack
think
that
about
meat.
this. Think about this, though. If they skipped that type of packing
well,
process,
I mean, I know a place
that
does. It's called Cypress Point Resort because they have their own. They have their
we do
own
have
meat
places
market.
like that. We need more, honestly, to be able to get better. Because I'm thinking, like you were saying, the packing of the meat, right? Okay, what if it was so close that you don't have to vacuum seal and you don't have to go through this other extra process because it's coming from a long distance?
Correct.
And you that's your sale today. This is what I got today. This is going to either be sold or we're going to give it to, we're going to donate it to a homeless shelter or something. And then tomorrow is going to have something else. So you're not keeping things over one day. And the majority, I know a lot of people that if they did something like that, Cypress Point, if they did something like that, though, people would want to come. I just feel like if it was in more of because you got grocery stores on every dang, corner, but they're all corporate grocery stores. You don't have mom and pop grocery stores anymore. There is none. I don't know, because people have talked about, well, you get food, but don't go to the corporate grocery store. Go to the mom and pop. What mom and pop place are selling meats and produce?
Yeah, I mean, they have them, but they don't have them here.
They don't.
Not that I know of.
It's not.
If they do, I think there's
everybody.
one in Pelahatchie or somewhere. But other than that, no, they don't.
No,
and that you know why that's sad, because they can't afford to be in business.
That's the part. I mean,
because
if we
of corporate America, and that is the truth. I mean, I do know that Walmart announced that Thanksgiving dinner, full dinner, with all the fixing, if you made one, it's 20% cheaper this year than it was with Sleepy Joe Biden in office. But so that does show you that Trump is inflation is way down, but what's not down is pieces in the middle
that still keep that price high.
That still keep the price, which is always about supply. Always.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it always is going to be.
Yeah. And real estate is ridiculous. I mean, I don't agree with Trump doing a 50-year mortgage, that he's talking about now, but it doesn't even matter anyway, because nobody can afford a home anymore. Now the average first-time buyer is over 40.
Yeah, because that's about
it
the
used
time
to be
when you
25.
can get settled and regulated.
It used to be 25.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, there's so many factors that goes into that, because it really, okay, we say what we want to say about the last couple of generations, but they really don't. We really had it better in a lot of different ways than they do. And so, in a way, they're having to fight back to where we had it. And they are fighting, thank goodness. But they do have to fight back to where we had it easy,
They do.
because of everything that's going on. So, I mean, I can understand why they don't. Of course, you don't want to buy a house when it's so inflated in price, and just there's no way. And like you said, the 50-year thing, and it's like, well, nobody wants to be tied into the same house for 50 years. And then also the interest on that is going to be outrageous. And I understand where he's coming from. But again, this is, to me, sometimes when things like that are said, it's somebody that genuinely never was in that type of bubble ever. They didn't run around with people that were,
Correct.
couldn't make ends meet.
Yeah.
And when they did, it was on a different level. He does care.
And one of those
but-
sayings, and I hate to say it, but it's very true, because I've met people like this that are basically like Trump,
Right.
not like Trump, but like Trump money wise.
Mhm.
Like you said, he's never been in our situation.
Never has.
So, and I've met people like that. And when I brought up things, and they weren't even being ugly, they didn't realize they even said it. You know what I mean? They really didn't,
Right.
until I corrected them. Like, really? But when they said stuff like, I'm like, wow, I mean, if my direct deposit, for example, doesn't go through, before Friday, I'm screwed. And they're like, well, I mean, we don't live like that. But they weren't being ugly. I don't think they even realized they said that,
and
because they don't
it.
have to worry about it.
Well, it kind of reminds it brings me back to, here's an example of something like that. During COVID, during 2020, the thing that bugged me the most, because I understood the sentiment, but when, of course, we had kids not going to school, and then kids, being schooled at home with computers, and the parents heard them, and everybody's saying the things that they say about public schools. Again, not disagreeing, but someone, say, in my situation, would not have the ability to just yank my child out of school, homeschool them, and blah, blah. Where's she going to go? I have to go to work.
There's a lot of people.
There's a whole bunch of, and people would say, well, you need to, you need to do what's right with your child. And you're like, I am. I also need to provide for them, which means I have to work.
You can't do what's right for your child if you can't feed them.
Right. Exactly. I mean, they're going to be on, CPS will be at my front door if that happened. And I mean, I wouldn't even let that happen. But I mean, that's the kind of example, though, where you're going, okay, number one, you're a 2-parent household. Number two, you make way more. You by yourself just would make way more than I do. Plus, your husband, that also makes way more. Y'all have a lot more means. One of the person that I know could actually take their child to work. I couldn't take my child to work at the time. There was no way I could do that.
There's a lot of different scenarios that people, and like I said, Trump doesn't think about it. He doesn't think about it because he's never been in that situation.
Ever.
But he's not the only one. Not that he doesn't care. And right. I know he understands that he but he doesn't process it. And if you do remind him, though, then he's like, oh, and then he gets it.
Yeah.
But a person with that much money and who's had that much money basically for decade after decade after decade, that's not going to pop in their mind like it does ours.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It's not.
Even though he still drinks Diet Coke and eats at McDonald's every day.
I mean, I love that.
He's got a Diet Coke at the White House. They showed it the other day. It's on the fountain, Diet Coke. And he just fills up his cup right there.
I'm sure you would love to figure out how to get a Dr. Pepper dispenser in your house. Of
course I would.
That would be great. Just, just keep it up.
Reach over and grab you one. Okay. But also, and I want to say this before we leave today, there's a lot of positive things happening with the FBI, like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. They are breaking up massive gangs. They are breaking up massive, just horrible stuff every single day.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't get talked about a lot because of all the other drama that's going on, but they're also breaking up all these groups that I was talking about, these quote Antifa / furry, whatever they're called, or whatever name.
Doing what FBI was supposed to do.
Right.
How's that?
So they're doing all of this. And the difference between them, though, and a quote typical liberal they're not going to come out and give you a quote warning because they're not
No.
dummies. Why
No.
would they?
Yeah,
Why
because
would
that
they?
just tells them to hide or do
Yeah.
something different.
And
It's
you
just-
know, and they're still, as far as ICE goes, they're still doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Every day. All you
Yes.
got to do is watch because they are loading people up.
They
So
are.
there are a lot of promises that Trump, there are 0% people crossing the border now. 0.
Yes.
And I can remember a year ago when you and I were having this conversation when it was 35 to 50,000 a day
Yes. Yes.
that they knew of.
That they knew of. And I mean, I'm not going to play the video now, but I mean, you know, Christy Nolan brought up the fact that the Biden-Harris administration gave like 900,000 illegals Social Security numbers. So you wonder how they were able to, you know, go and get Medicaid.
He's
and
brilliant.
get,
He's
you
going to
know-
be working to make sure that individuals who got Social Security numbers in this country should be using them for the right things, and they shouldn't be on our benefit programs. You know, we have over 6,000 individuals that have been identified through their work already that have been on the terrorist watch list, that they are known criminals.
How does that happen,
sh-
Madam Secretary?
it
How does that
happens-
happen?
It happens when you put a train wreck like Joe Biden in the White House, and it's going to be a lot of work to clean it up. But just in the last 4.5 years, we've had over 9 million people get Social Security numbers that are not U.S. citizens. So they may be people who have some sort of legal status, but a lot of them are illegals that were given a Social Security number in just the last 4.5 years. That we're going to have to figure out if they should be here, if they are here legally under a program, and if they are here illegally, then they certainly shouldn't be using that Social Security number to be on our programs, and they should be removed or given the opportunity to go home on their own. That's the one thing President Trump would like, is everybody to be given the opportunity to go home if they would wish to.
See ya. what
That's
I
being
say.
nice
See
because
You know, that's a lot nicer than Frank would be.
I believe so.
But
I believe so.
but
you mean
Trump is allowing
mean-
them, hey, look, you have a
You mean this
choice.
guy right here? No, that
This guy right here.
That guy right there. He would not put up with it at all. He'd be like, actually, what we're planning on doing is making these attorney.
But we love Frank, and thanks for producing this show
Yes.
today.
By the way, he's
I know you had
producing.
another video that we were going to talk about here. We're going to get to that one here.
Which one?
I'm not sure.
We want to
It's
talk
a-
about Snap.
Everyone who's on Snap.
Well,
is
we
going
talked
to have
about
to
that,
refund.
but
Now,
this
happened,
is,
of course,
to me,
when the government shut down and
the-
there was
no, we didn't
a lot
talk
of
about
the
Snap. We
SNAP
talked
benefits
about
were
the
in-
Social Security
not
numbers,
getting out
but
to the
Snap's
people.
a big thing
42
too.
million Americans
For 42 million.
Just like the same thing
Well,
with
we
the
thought
Social
of it
Security.
inside the country.
Because there was so
People
much
as well
fraud.
that are- Yep. People. And so
He's getting
Brooke
them
Rollins,
to
we had her on and we had a
reapply.
great conversation with her where she said, hey, listen, this whole SNAP benefits conversation around the shutdown has sort of pulled the curtain back, and people are seeing how many people are on SNAP that aren't actually citizens, and they're going to have to reapply. What do you make of this? I think it's very popular, especially if you go online and look at what people think. I think it's a popular initiative to say these benefits are for Americans. Is she going to be able to accomplish this? Is she going to have some legal challenges to it? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm sure. You know, everything that comes from the Trump administration, I just track it and see how long it takes for it to land at the Supreme Court. So there are going to be legal challenges. But the thing is, most of these programs with SNAP are administered by the states. And a lot of the states do have verification programs where people have to update every 3 to 6 months or, you know, really establish that they got some kind of need. But maybe she's proposing something at the federal level that would then have a federal component for, you know, applying and proving that you actually need this. Because I think all of us are compassionate Americans. Like, we want our fellow Americans to get help when they need it. And we've all known people, if not our own families, that have walked through these periods of needing this kind of help. But Secretary Rollins also said that she found there were 186,000 checks or SNAP benefits going out to people who were dead. So if that's accurate, that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. And there are other problems with the program too. So I think a lot of Americans would say, gosh, I didn't realize before we were having this conversation, there were 42 million people on these benefits. Maybe it's, you know, not such a bad idea. Just have.
And of course, the poser Shannon Bream's a lot nicer than me.
Yes.
But one thing about it, she's smart when it comes to anything to do with a courtroom or a judge.
Yes.
So when she said that I sit back and just watch everything that Trump does, where it goes into the court system, because she is smart enough to know that they're going to fight him on everything.
Oh, they're going to fight him on everything. But the thing with SNAP and the thing with reapplying, I have my own thoughts about this because I agree. Yes, number one, there was so much fraud. There was so much, ways and loopholes and just people that just didn't care and just passed people on through. And you have a certain amount of money that is set aside for SNAP. Also, because there's so much fraud, the reason that they have to make their gauge higher and higher, I'll just say lower and lower. You can't make above a certain amount. You can't make even to get a little bit of help, is because of fraud. They have to actually keep the bar and the how much you make lower because so many people are defrauding the system that they have to have enough money for the people who are already on there in the first place. And if we have them reapply, I'm wondering how many people would not qualify.
Exactly. And the good thing about Mississippi is we have Shad White, and Mississippi also has a couple of things already in place that Tate Reeves and them have voted on a couple of years ago, because the amount of fraud that came through this state during COVID is unbelievable. Now, Shad White is still busting people to this day from that. But I just saw day before yesterday where he busting people on the SNAP thing left and right. $75,000 in SNAP illegal benefits was a lady in Jefferson Davis County day before yesterday. So we have a guy who's a pit bull when it comes to that.
I love that.
And a lot of states don't have that guy because they have a leftist Democrat that's like, oh yeah, help them out. We don't care. Trump's in office. We'll just blame it on him.
Of course.
So,
yeah.
Shad White, whether he runs for governor or not, he's great in the position that he's in now.
Right. I was fixing to say, yeah. I mean, I think he's doing a fantastic job when it comes to that. I kind of don't want him to get out of the role because he's doing so good. But at the same time,
Right. That's going to be his choice.
That's going to be his choice.
So,
hey, before we get out of here, I feel like we could leave people with just a little taste of something kind of cool. Ducey kind of gave a little backstage pass for people. Like he was at the White House Rose Garden, about to go into the press room and all that kind of stuff. And he just saw something really he heard something really kind of neat.
Yeah, I actually saw this. This is great.
If it sounds like here at the White House, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me by Elton John and George Michael is blasting over a speaker in the Rose Garden and then over here onto the north side. That's because Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me is blasting out of a speaker over in the Rose Garden over here onto the north lawn. As we understand it, in talking to some folks in the West Wing, President Trump today is having some fun. He's got his phone out and his playlist pulled up, and the music is playing. It's one of my dad's favorite songs.
Who doesn't like that song?
I know.
It's a great song.
It's a great song. But I just love it that
Trump
is still Trump. Trump makes the White House cool. I'm just saying,
well, he's honestly made everything cool. Again. He's made everything cool again.
Where these people,
that's a new hat for somebody out there listening.
So we need to remember that and pay attention and know that. I mean, think whatever you want to think about him, or whether he's listening to the wrong person or he's just saying the wrong thing. But know for a fact, obviously, and if you think this differently, then I have something to think about you. He is still trying to work towards making your life better. It's not going to happen overnight. There may be some things he needs to put in a different priority level, but at the same time, it makes sense. It makes sense in the long run. And I think we should just, everybody take a step back, take a breath, and let's come at it together. Though to me, the infighting that's making us all separate is just going to make us all weaker. We were so much stronger during just before the election, leading up to the election, right after the election, we all came together. We were very strong. It seems that may be slightly deteriorating. So let's keep it together, guys. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. And real quick before I want to go, So there's a list, the brother and sister networks and shows here. Kim and Frank, the really, really big show, Frank and Kim. Frank makes all this happen, so big thanks to him.
Amen.
Then we have my show, Unleashed, on Monday and Wednesdays at 6:30 a.m. Theirs is on Tuesday at 6:30 a.m. And now we have D&K podcast on Mondays about 5:30 p.m. And then we have all this stuff. So we just want to say thanks to everybody that, because I get so many messages thanking us. And we want to say thank you to you.
Yes, we appreciate you.
Say thank you to you.
We totally do.
We love what we're doing, or we wouldn't do it, but we're doing it because we love the country. Okay. And that's how we all come together as one, is by loving the country, America. That's where we were born. We are true Americans. We're true patriots, and that's what we're all about. And just want to thank you for all that, because just waking up in the morning, whether it's 5:30 in the morning or 5:30 in the afternoon, it doesn't matter. We get excited because we're able to talk about things that matter to us.
Exactly.
And that hopefully matter to most of y'all.
Yes.
And again, I don't expect everybody to be in politics. I get it. Everybody's got a life, but we try to mix it up a little bit.
Well, that's why you can come in. So you got Monday mornings, and you can always go on Facebook on Unleashed Media, Get Unleashed on Facebook, streaming live, so you can come back and find it later. Then we give it to you on Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. We're giving you a way to kind of continually keep up without having to constantly go and scroll through Twitter and find all the stuff. That's, hopefully where we are there. But can I also point out, we have a new website.
We do, and that's what we need to talk about.
Okay, so these are letters now. All of them are letters. DNKP Cast.
DNKP Cast.
Next week I'll have me something on here. Well, it'll be on our little screen next time so you can see it. But DNKPcast.com. Go check it out. Every show is going to be uploaded there, so you can go back and reference to it. All of our other shows will be right underneath it. It has a link to our YouTube channel. You can also go to our social media links there. Here real soon, we may even have a mobile app where you can take D&K podcast in your pocket on your phone.
Oh, I like it. And also all my socials, all Kim's personal socials. We're out there. We are all out there. You cannot miss us.
You can't. You can try to avoid us, but you won't.
That's right. You may try to avoid us, but you're not going to avoid me
at all.
It ain't going to happen.
I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much. And we will be right back here around 5 to 5:30.
Yeah, we always say that.
Just log on, because we'll be there unless I tell you different. Unless we tell you different before that, we will be there. Just wait and have patience.
See ya.